We're here today to give you a little taste of Resistance Burning Skies for the PlayStation Vita. This is a brand new story and a brand new character for the Resistance universe. You're playing Tom Riley, a New York City firefighter, caught up in the events of the initial Chimeran invasion of the East Coast of the United States, right around the time of Resistance 2, so it's an overlapping story. Co-written by William C. Dietz, and we think it adds a lot to the Resistance universe. It lets you experience the invasion from a more civilian perspective. You can see visually it's very much what I think a Resistance player expects. No compromises were made bringing this over to the PlayStation Vita. We have a really rich visual lighting environment. And we're bringing back familiar enemies like these leapers, and familiar weapons like the carbine that we're firing with here. One really cool thing about the Resistance world is that the weapons always have great secondary modes. In this case, I can touch anywhere on the front screen and lob an instant explosion grenade right at that spot in the world, so it's actually even more flexible than it was on the PlayStation 3. I can basically spot a point in the world and say, I want to blow that up right now. Now we have a new weapon here. This is a Chimeran version of a chain gun, so it takes a little while to spin up, but once it does, it's got 9 barrels of destructibility. So we're basically working our way through Ellis Island Research Facility. So this is a secret base that SERPA created underneath Ellis Island, the Ellis Island that we're familiar with. But in the alternate reality of the Resistance universe, this is a research facility where they're looking at Chimeran technology and learning how to use it for the war effort. In this case, we're picking up a piece of gray tech, and we're going to have the ability to actually use this and morph it and apply it to one of our guns as an upgrade. So this is a new feature that we're bringing to the universe for the first time. So when I find a piece of gray tech, I can take any of the guns that I've acquired up to this point, and I can choose to use that piece of gray tech to upgrade them simply by dragging the item onto the device. Now that I have the gray tech, I have to decide how to shape it and how I want to apply it to the weapon. So for instance, if I want to make a torus shape, I can pinch the front and back screens, turn the gray tech into a torus, and if I put this into the gun, it's going to give me a faster reload. Or I can back up and try another option and maybe stretch the gray tech into a line, and if I do this to my weapon, I'm going to get a upgraded shot, a depleted uranium shot. So as the player goes through the game, they actually have the choice of how they upgrade their weapons as opposed to just being a linear progression of power. And we think that's a really cool way that at the end of the game, my weapons are going to be a little different than my friends' weapons who also play the game. So now that we've upgraded our chain gun, you can see we have additional effects, and when we shoot it, we're going to get a lot more destructive power. We're going to be able to blow the heck out of this room and make good our escape. See, alarm bells are going off because the Chimera have invaded from this other room. So now that I'm fully armed, I'm going to go into our big final battle here. One of the things we've added to the game is an explicit cover system, so whenever I duck down behind cover, I automatically take a defensive position, but I can also automatically pop up just by pushing on my fire button or the iron sights on the left trigger. I'm going to switch weapons here and get something a little more appropriate for this kind of battle. My trusty carbine. So the controls are really familiar to anyone that's played a Resistance game. We also have familiar returning enemies like these Chimeran hybrids. Another cool thing is at any time I always have the ability to go back to my melee weapon from a front touch button that's always on screen. So even if I have my chain gun readied, I can always just tap this and bring out a shot with my axe. I also have a CFG weapon here, which is really fun because I can actually drag my finger across multiple enemies on screen, lock on, and then fire secondary shots at them. And another cool wrinkle in the new game is I can actually throw the grenade multiple ways. I can touch the grenade icon and fire right down the middle of the screen, or I can actually click and drag the grenade to put the grenade in a particular spot in the world and have it explode there. So a lot more flexibility in how you use grenades with the Vita touchscreen features. Take these last two guys out. So we've seen a couple of familiar enemies. We're also going to introduce some new enemies into the franchise, in addition to the new character that we're introducing. Oh, one more guy, sorry. So here we cleared out this room, and my buddy's going to come and lower this elevator so I can come out the back way here. As you go through the game, you're going to have a lot of cinematic storytelling, a lot of dialogue and things to build a story. And my buddy's been an unfortunate victim of the Impaler, one of the new mini-boss characters we're introducing to the franchise. So in this demo, we're not going to get to fight him, but we're going to get a little hint of his power. But we're going to leave on a high note there, hopefully leaving you wanting more. The title is Resistance Burning Skies for the PlayStation Vita, coming out in 2012.